Hi, welcome to this edition of On Tap, presented by FCSI the Americas. I'm Wade Kaler, Executive Director. On Tap this week, I have the honor of welcoming one of our longtime FCSI members. He's won multiple awards throughout his career, including Young Lion from FES Magazine, FCSI Service Awards, and many, many more. He's widely known among the stadium and arena industry, working on too many projects for me to list, and only one of two FCSI members that are huge model train hobbyists. Please welcome Principal and Owner of S2O Consultants, Mr. Harry Schildkraut. Hi, Harry. Welcome to the show.
Hello. How you doing, Wade?
I'm doing great. Thank you again for joining us. I appreciate it. I know you're busy this time of year, and so I appreciate any time that I can carve out to talk to members such as yourself. You know, to get started, we always like to go off the first question with just tell us a little bit about your background, how you got started in the hospitality industry briefly, and then what led you into becoming a food service consultant in the industry?
Well, I was born and raised in the Catskills of New York, a huge resort area.
Yeah.
In the 50s and 60s and so on. I grew up in the hospitality industry. My parents had a small Catskill resort. If you ever watch the amazing Mrs. Maisel, you've probably seen something like it.
Yeah.
Or Dirty Dancing was set in a Catskill resort. I mean, that was my upbringing. I started as a busboy when I was 11 years old, and
cheap labor.
Worked my way up from there. I went to the hotel school at Cornell with the intention of becoming a hotel manager or something in that part of the industry. And while I was there, I was exposed to the hotel engineering courses, which included a couple of courses taught by a consultant from the Detroit area by the name of Ernie Bangs. His company, I believe, was called Stevens Bangs, and I think they're still around for that matter. And I decided I liked that a lot more than managing a hotel.
Yeah.
Because, I wouldn't have to work more than 40 hours a week, right?
Right.
So when I was a senior and John Cini and Dwayne Grissom came to interview that spring, they offered me a job at the amazing salary of about $8,700 a year, which was pretty good in 1969. And I then spent 34 years with them and the last 18 years with my own company.
Very good.
And I have been very fortunate over the years to work with some amazing people.
Well, as S2O, I know some of you, like I mentioned before, but what are most of the segments, or what are some of the segments and specialties that you focus in on the most?
We pretty much will do anything in the hospitality, food service industries. We kind of try to stay away from corrections.
Okay.
If somebody gives us a call on that, we tell them to call Jim Peterson.
Okay.
And the same thing with healthcare.
Yeah.
We don't do healthcare. We tell them call Christine Guyot at Rippey.
Yeah.
And those people are very good friends of ours, and we've worked together on many projects over the years. But everything else, we are primarily probably about 80% sports venues, professional and collegiate level stadiums, arenas, ballparks, etc. And we also do schools. Kristen does a lot of elementary schools, high schools, etc. Whenever anybody approaches us, we take a look at it. If we feel comfortable doing it, we'll give them a proposal.
Well, as I mentioned before, you've worked on a lot of big name and high profile sports venues. Can you put the top 5 list together? Do you have the top 5 maybe that you've worked on over your career?
Insult anybody. So, but in the last few years, I mean, we've completed. Right now, it seems everybody's building arenas and soccer stadiums.
Okay.
Right now on the books, we've got a soccer stadium under construction in St. Louis. We've got an arena coming up in Los Angeles for the Clippers. We got one opening in Seattle this summer. I'm not sure that there's any one or two that stick out. I mean, it was really a lot of fun when we did the ballpark in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great group to work with.
Nice.
And even though it's been, 6-7 years now, they're still a good reference for us. So,
And that's the Miami Marlins Stadium, correct? Or
yes, the Marlins.
Whatever the stadium is named today, but where the Marlins play.
Yeah, I'm not sure it has. I think it's just called Miami Marlins Ballpark.
Okay. What's one thing about Harry Schildkraut no one would ever guess when they meet you?
You mean other than the trains?
Yeah. Well, that you can talk about those as well, but
okay.
Yeah.
I'm all set. If I wasn't designing kitchens, I'd be driving trains.
I believe that. If people if you can briefly tell people how you're not just talking the talk. I mean, you've got an amazing setup there.
It's my entire basement. I've been working on it since we built and moved into this house in 1986.
Yeah.
And I belong to a group that comes over every 6 or 8 weeks. And we run the trains. We have a schedule. We have manifests. We have train orders. I mean, it's like a video game come to life. Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
And I, every weekend I can go somewhere and run trains, either at my house or one of the guys.
Very cool.
And and that's my hobby. It's been my hobby since I've been 6 years old.
Yeah.
When my father gave me or my parents gave me a set of Lionel trains.
That's pretty amazing. I've seen pictures and it is amazing to see. In your career, what would you consider, I love exposing people's mistakes or screw ups maybe they've made, because we all learn from those as we go about. What is maybe your greatest or biggest mistake or screw up that you've done, and what did you learn from it?
Back when I was in Senior Little, back in the early 90s, we worked on a new county jail project for St. Louis County. And I remember a phone call one day from the kitchen equipment contractor, which was a local dealer down there, wanting to verify the size of the food trays for the inmate food service. And I was very busy that day and didn't bother to go look in the file. So I gave him some dimensions. I think I told him 14 by 18, which was a standard tray size.
Mm-hmm.
And many months later, when the 22 food carts arrived and the facility's food delivery trays kept falling through the slots in the carts, I got a call and says, "Hey, wait a minute. Something's not right here." And we ended up buying them 22 new carts.
Ooh.
At a substantial amount of money. We took possession of the 22 incorrectly specified carts. When I say we, I mean Senior Little.
Yeah.
And for all I know, there may still be some of them in the warehouse of that dealer 25 years later.
Yeah.
So that was my biggest screw up.
And I'm sure that you always look in that file from this point forward.
Well, it's not in my possession anymore. It's in, Dick Eisenbarth's possession.
Very good. What is one piece of advice for someone you would give thinking about making a career change, or somebody coming out of hospitality school, the piece of advice you'd give them about becoming a food service consultant?
Go out and get some real life experience first, working in a restaurant, a hotel, any kind of commercial food service. Mm-hmm. Because if you come in here raw, it's going to be that much more difficult, not only for you, but for us to train you. And we always tell people that when they come looking for a job, get some, a couple of years of experience under your belt. We have not hired anybody directly out of school.
What are 3 things your friends or family would say about you to describe you?
I cry easily.
Okay.
I get very emotional. Okay. I watch a wedding on television and I cry. I'm a very generous person. We always donate money to different causes every year. This year, we spent a lot of money personally supporting restaurants in our area by buying gift certificates to 12 different restaurants.
Nice.
And we then took those certificates and handed them out in the hospital where my wife works to the frontline workers in the ICU and the radiology department and so on.
Nice. Very good.
So it was a win-win for everybody. I'm easygoing. I don't get angry easily. I'm an all-around nice guy.
I would agree with that 100%. When you get ready to travel to see a client, what are the 3 must-haves that you have to have with you in your possession?
Telephone, laptop, and probably a roll of sketch paper.
When we all come across at times where we get stuck, whether it's a mental block, whether writing or designing or whatever, do you have any tips or tricks to give to people when they come up against that roadblock, how to get over it?
A lot of times I will, you got to remember at S2O, we all work from our homes. And Amber Kennedy, who is a FCSI member, comes to my house every day and sits behind me down in the office in the basement in the trains. And whenever I'm stuck on something, I turn around and I say, "Hey, Amber, come take a look at this." And she almost every time has a solution.
Oh, that's great.
It's amazing. Something I didn't think of or something that works better.
A new fresh set of eyes on it, obviously.
Exactly.
Very good. Well, that's all the formal questions I've got for you today, Harry. But before we let you go, we want to have a little bit of fun with you. And I've got a series of would you rather questions I think you're going to enjoy. So we'll just jump right into these. Would you rather tell bad knock-knock jokes to everyone you meet or talk about yourself in the third person for the rest of your life?
Knock-knock jokes, definitely.
Would you rather be famous as a comedian or famous as a musician?
Comedian.
Would you rather vacation in a luxury penthouse or in the remote wilderness?
Penthouse.
Would you rather ride the scariest roller coaster in the world or bungee jump off the tallest bridge in the world?
I wouldn't do either of those things. There's no freaking way.
Would you rather eat a bowl full of jelly beans or a bowl full of Skittles?
Jelly beans.
Would you rather know all the secrets to the outer space or all the secrets to the ocean?
Outer space.
Would you rather never do laundry again or never have to do the dishes again?
Well, I'm not allowed to do laundry, so ever since all the shirts turned out pink.
So we'll take that one for you then. Would you rather eat the most expensive dessert in the world or drink the most expensive champagne in the world?
Dessert.
Would you rather be more technologically inclined or better with people?
Technology.
Would you rather give up coffee and soda for a year or not be able to brush your teeth for a year?
I'd give up coffee and soda.
And the last question I've got for you is, would you rather fight 3 half-size clones of yourself or 1 full-size clone of yourself?
3 half-size.
All right, perfect. Well, before we let you go, Harry, let the audience know kind of how they can find out more information about you and your firm.
Just go to our website, s2oconsultants.net. Everything is there, and they can always call me.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Well, that wraps up this edition of On Tap presented by FCSI The Americas. A huge thank you to Harry for joining us today. We can't do these shows without members like yourself. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe to the show wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And make sure to turn on those notifications so that you don't miss out on any future episodes. But until then, cheers.